10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello and welcome to Tam Talks, and I am your host, Isaiah. And today we will have some guests from FU Manila that will talk about what is fake news and how does it affect the media and its consequences, and how we will be able to eradicate the fake news that are spreading like wildfire. First, we'll have our first guest, Pio, to talk about what is fake news.
Thank you, Isaiah. Fake news become common in the social media platform. Yes, the social media is one of the popular, especially in the new generation. Because in social media, they can communicate with other people. Fake news comes in two different types of ways. Fake news, which is news that is claimed as fake or not true, and actually is not true. Then there is fake news. This is news that is proclaimed false but later proven to be true. According to Professor Clarissa David, one of the hallmarks of fake news on social media is how these supposed news stories try to agitate readers or consumers. If it's screaming at you, if it's trying to rile you up, if it makes you angry, if it has curse words, if it has exclamation points, the odds of it being not disinformation are very low. Consistently used as a format, this style is very much the opposite of what comes out on legitimate news organizations, which are supposed to avoid sensational news stories.
Alright, thank you, Jim, for expounding and explaining to us what fake news is all about. However, as we dig deeper into this topic, I will now ask you how fake news affects all the media in the Philippines.
Thank you, Isaiah. So, as a result, fake news is now widely consumed. It affects on media platforms, public perception, and government regulation of information sharing have all been significant. Social media is promoter for fake news due to its wide reach and simple accessibility. As well as its lack of journalist standard, fake news has always existed. But today, it's spread and read quickly. True or false, information move faster now. People may easily obtain news and information on the internet. The better the image, the more believable the story. Perception may always be improved and made convincing. According to Cesdrilon, a Filipino journalist, says that in some cases, the large mass of fake news is enough to convince people that it's true. People are more likely to believe a rumor if there's a lot of information available online about it. Social and economical, fake news can have devastating impact. It only takes one person to say something negative about the product for it to sound accurate to the majority of people. If a second person a comment or agrees with it.
That is very well said, Joe. Fake news definitely has a negative impact on journalists and the Philippine media. How about you, Ace? What are your thoughts about the consequences of fake news?
As they have stated earlier, fake news is very rampant in our country it continues to spread and affects the lives of many Filipinos. I think that we all know that fake news is detrimental to society as it has the power to influence and control the minds of every individual. According to the survey conducted by the Social Weather Station, the majority or 51% of Filipinos find it challenging to determine fake news on television, radio, or social media, which is very alarming since the repercussions of fake news can be a severe problem. One great example would be the last election. I have seen how Filipinos believe in various unreliable news outlets or pages, which significantly affects their perception and shaping their decision of certain candidates. Also, fake news can deceive people about the truth or what is really happening in the issues that we experience, which eventually leads to the unawareness of our fellow citizens. And now we have seen how these decisions impacts our lifestyle. That is why it is imperative that we Filipinos know how to identify which is credible and which is not.
Indeed, Fake news can be a serious problem for you to be a victim of. However, I am certain that there is still a way to combat this issue, and I know that Bea will share some tips or solutions to fight fake news.
Thank you, Isaiah. According to West, in order to maintain an open democratic system, it is important that government, business, and consumers work together to solve these problems. Governments should promote news literacy and strong professional journalism in their societies. The news industry must provide high-quality journalism in order to build public trust and correct fake news and disinformation without legitimizing them. Technology companies should invest in tools that identify fake news, reduce financial incentives for those who profit from disinformation, and improve online accountability. It is important for news organizations to call out fake news and disinformation without legitimizing them. They can do this by relying upon their in-house professionals and well-respected fact-checkers in order to educate users about news sites that are created to mislead non-profit organizations such as PolitiFact, FactCheck.organization, and Snopes judge the accuracy of leader claims and write stories detailing the truth or lack thereof particular developments. Technology firms should invest in technology to find fake news and identify it for users through algorithms and crowdsourcing.
Wow, what a very informative episode this has been for the podcast. Now we know how should we approach fake news that are spreading and how can we eradicate them and what's its effects. Huge thanks again for our guests that shared information about fake news. I am your host Isaiah and see you again for tomorrow's episode of Another Camp Talks.